no sounds coming through for some reason. And I see you're loading your camera, so wait and see how this goes. One more try, Eden. Hello, Bear 100. All right, we can start. All right, today I don't have much time. Hello, Eden. Does it work for you now? Okay.
Okay, now
So, yes, it works now. There you go. Nice to have you.
good. Thank you. How are you guys? Also, Gideon asked if it's worth for him to join. Should I? I mean, it's mostly for housekeeping and for right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I don't think it's necessary, but he's
Okay.
welcome to. All right. So the icebreaker question for today. I don't have much time, so I will say I have about 15 minutes, and then I will have to hop off. But I wanna sort of start the meeting as usual. And the question for today is, what is your dream holiday? Like, if you could pick any place, if you could just take an airplane now, what would be the holiday of your dreams if you have one? I will say that on my case, my dream holiday would be probably a month in a place like Norway, in a cabin, but in summer, so it's not so cold. But a place that it's peaceful and calm or surrounded by forests probably will be my dream holiday. How about you, Bear 100?
Thank you, Edu. So for me, I think it changes a lot, like throughout the year and throughout the time. But like the most recent one, I think it's been Egypt, especially like the ancient part of Egypt, and just take a look at the temples and the pyramids, and really immerse myself into that culture that I find like super 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 interesting. So I think just like backpacking around the whole country would be pretty cool to me. I'll pass it to Costa.
Thank you. I think for me it would be rural China for the food and from the landscapes. It would be like a few months of backpacking. I'll pass it to you, Iram.
I never get tired of this holiday. It's just Aegean and Mediterranean Sea coastal towns where I can kite surf and just chill near the bonfire and campfire. And I'll pass it to you, NT.
Cool, thanks. Well, I've been wanting to do the Eurorail for some time. Just go through all European training, hang out over there. Back to you, Edu.
Today's question: holiday you wish you have so far, or the one that you have enjoyed so much of you. You are unmuted, Gideon. Now you're muted.
Hey, Edu, sorry, you were breaking up for me right there, so I couldn't hear. What is my dream holiday? Okay, I just had my dream holiday. I just did it with my wife. We just basically went. We did this coast trip where we were just doing a road trip, and it was super fun. Just like a different place every day, and it was really nice. I don't know who has gone, so I'll pass it back to you.
No worries. Welcome, Quantum 369. We are going through an icebreaker question. And the question for today is, what is your dream holiday, or what was your dream holiday that you will take again if you could? If you feel like sharing, of course, you can pass it on if you don't. All right. We can move on with the meeting. So, basically, today it's a cleaning house meeting more than anything else. Specifically, and that's the nice part that Gideon and NT joined. The folks from Outer Space reached me out. They created this Telegram group to communicate better. It's by a guy named Lucas, which was the guy who I originally talked to, along Emily. And there is a link for you to join. NT, specifically Gideon, and I guess Irem too, for the Outer Space situation. Just situation in the sense of the implementation of Outer Space. So if you click on the link, it should take you to the Telegram group. They already know that you are coming there. So that's something I just want to make sure that you guys are aware and can join the Telegram group. Let me know if it doesn't work, the link, but it should. And besides that, I don't know, NT, if there's any update that you would like to provide regarding Outer Space, or something you would like to comment regarding that.
No, not really. I haven't done much this past week on that.
All right. No worries. So, Steward's responsibilities. We had a conversation with him last week in our last sync, and it was brought to my attention that I, of course, didn't consider things like planning the agenda and who was going to take over those duties. And she suggested two things. The first was that other stewards will offer support. In the meantime, we are stewardless. And third, that we should acknowledge that and sort of try to understand who wants to take what. So basically, my question is, if there is someone who would like to take on the topics of like the agenda, things like compensation, because compensation needs to be put in a spreadsheet, then you need to make the transaction and so on. So this is an open floor at this stage, but we would like to know if someone would like to take some of the things. The idea is that we don't centralize everything in one single person. But we also have to acknowledge that if no one can take it, then we will have to sort of figure out how to do it. But basically, the responsibilities will be managing the compensation, preparing the agenda for and facilitating this meeting, and joining the retrospective, stewards call, and sprint planning. Those are the 5 responsibilities that comes in top of my head. So I want to open the floor and give it to anyone who is willing to take any of these tasks. I will make sure to, of course, brief that person and so on. So 5.
What does preparing the agenda involve?
Preparing the agenda involves sort of track back what happened last week and make sure that this topic is still relevant. If not, then we can skip it. Means to prepare the icebreaker question if the facilitator feels like, and make sure that all the things, for example, review the GitHub issues, make sure that these GitHub issues are not left unattended, and surface any work that is left to be done and add it as an item of the agenda.
I think I can take on that.
Nice, thank you.
And also, if I would be doing that, I think it would make sense to also go to the sprint planning, as I'll be checking on the issues and stuff, right?
Yes. Nice.
And I'll help you. I don't want to fully get the responsibility just because now I know with all the other organizational new elements like Edu, you're onboarding us on. I just don't want to overpack myself, so I don't want to not fulfill anything. So I'll definitely help you. But I would need some help if it wasn't needed.
Okay.
But so great.
Thank you.
So just let me know whenever with everything agenda, joining some calls and the Excel sheets and stuff. Perfect.
Nice. Yes, Gideon, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to offer to be here for backup if people need just, I don't know, just to brainstorm or, just need some emotional support or whatever it is. I'm here. I can't do a lot of kind of the more administrative stuff, just timing wise, but I'm happy to help where I can.
Nice.
Thank you, Gideon.
Thank you, Gideon. Irem, do you think it's fair to try that Costa prepares the call, this agenda, and then you facilitate the meeting? Are you comfortable facilitating
Yes.
the meeting?
Of course. Yeah.
Perfect. And then the last thing that it's we already do, which is the onboarding and community call. You guys have been alternating, you and Costa. So I think we can sort of keep that if no one challenged that. The only thing that is left is compensation, which is the only. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, for the onboarding call. I think it's great to alternate Iram and me, but I think at least from my perspective, there are things that might be a bit complicated, and we will need some steward, like the technical part of the bonding curve and all of this. Still, I mean, if I have to, I will study that, but still escapes a bit my grasp to explain it clearly to newcomers.
Sure.
I remember you said maybe Nate could come into 1 or 2 onboarding calls. Maybe we can reach out to him, and ask him for some support within at least the next 2 orientation calls, or also maybe Bear or Gideon, whomever has the time, or NT. Yeah. We're equipped with what Costa is mentioning.
Yeah, I agree. Nate used to attend to every orientation call. So yeah, I will reach him out to let him know. And of course, if Gideon and NT can support, it's more than welcome.
Yeah, I usually don't schedule for the onboarding call, but if any of you ping me, I'm happy to jump there and help.
Thank you, Andy. Right. So the idea is that this is temporarily. We will see how this works. Tam is aware of this, and if it doesn't work, let's say for the rest of this month, then we will sort of try to find sort of a steward, kind of more, singularize things into a single person. We are gonna try this model. We'll give it a try and see if it works for incoming weeks. And compensation is the last thing left to be done. So I will keep doing it for this month because it's fine until we change the addresses for the multisig, because I think Manu and me will be taken out from the multisig, and Gideon is for your awareness too, because we also are on that multisig, and we'll probably find 2 replacements for myself and Manu, and to whoever eventually needs that. It's a very one day at the month that you need to do this. It's not something stressful. So far I can still do that little contribution because it doesn't take much time. It takes 30 minutes. But yeah, that's pretty much all on the compensation part, which is the last thing from the store responsibilities that I was doing. Is there any question regarding this before I keep going? All right. Nice. So the other things that I want to make sure is to do the check-in on the calendar. We were having some difficulties last week regarding the calendar. I just want to make sure we all have the same calendar. We have to acknowledge that, of course, there is different time zones. It's perfectly normal, and it will happen quite often. So do you have how do you want to propose to do this? I can check the calendar here and just make sure however you want to do it.
Yeah, I think we open up the calendar and we can just check the following weeks and see if there are any conflicts or any weekly meetings that is misplaced. And we can start with today's goal and then orientation goal. What else? I don't.
Sure.
Yeah, I think those.
Give me a moment that I will share this. And this is also to solve any confusion that could be related to the calendar. So let me just keep TC. Okay, so this is TC only. We have the community weekly meeting. That's correct. That's 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. CET. I just want to make sure that for everyone it shows the same time, especially, for example, Gideon and Irem, that you are in a different time zone, an NT2 and a European, if it still shows correctly, and that there is no call on Tuesday, because it seems there was a misplacement on Tuesday. So I want to make sure that, Tuesday is not the day that it shows, but it shows on Monday. So if you just click on the thumbs up on the emoji or the green check mark, that should be surfaced as a yes, it worked for us. I will change the point of contact here. As you may see, I still show up as a point of contact here. So I will change this temporarily to maybe Irem. Or are you comfortable with being just, no one ever reached me from this calendar, but just to acknowledge that.
Yes, yes.
I think you can put it
Should I
in
write-
and myself. You can
Okay.
put us both, right?
Yes. All right. Let me. Okay. So the next thing that we have to talk is orientation call. So this week is correct. We still will have bi-weekly orientation call, and it doesn't show up in this Thursday, which is correct. Let me go to the next one. So we have this overlap of orientation and sprint planning and sprint retrospective, and we cannot have an overlap on this. So what do you think is more comfortable for you guys? Yeah.
I thought the sprint retrospective was also I thought they were alternating. Are they not? Or was it Stewart's?
It's alternated with Stewards, correct?
Okay.
So Stewards and community call happen on the same day, and orientation and sprint retrospective happens on the same week. Sorry.
But you're right, Irem. I think what you would want to say, Irem, is that they could be alternated. So if we move the orientation call to this week or next week, then it would not collapse with the sprint retrospective, because it would be on the same week that the Stewards Council happens.
Yes,
And
but
that
then
does not affect us.
But it will conflict with sample was?
No, because sample is Act 7.
Yeah, but it will conflict with Stewards. Still, that's the issue.
But okay.
So
So
we
Stewards Council is happening every week, right? It's not bi-weekly.
Steward Council is every 2 weeks. It's bi-weekly too. But regardless if we move it to this Thursday or the next one, at 6 p.m., it conflicts in 1 week with Steward Council, and the next week it conflicts with retrospective. So it doesn't matter which one is bi-weekly, it still conflicts with both in both weeks. So we either move it to 5 p.m. Any week, or we move it to 8 p.m. and the week that we don't have community call. That is up to you guys to decide. Since you are the guys who will be managing the call, I suggest you to find a time that fits you better for you, and then the community and everyone else will adjust.
Yeah, can you repeat the possibilities? Sorry, I just opened up my calendar and checking.
Yes,
because
there is possibility to move it every week. It doesn't matter which week, at 5 p.m. or the week of the retrospective to move it to 8 p.m. or to 5 p.m.
Can I just offer one observation? If it works for you, Irem, and Costa, having it be the same time as the community call, but just on a different week, so that those calls are just using the same slot but alternating weeks, I think would make it simpler for people to remember. I mean, it's not a huge deal. The more important thing is if it works for you guys, but there is some benefit to that.
Do you
I
mean to have?
agree.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I also agree.
Can you recall the suggestion, Gideon? Sorry, I got distracted for a second.
Have the community call. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's community call and orientation call alternating. Since community call is also bi-weekly. So like you said, so 8 p.m. On Thursday, alternating with community call.
So we move to 8 p.m. Does everyone agree with this? Just press the check mark emoji on Discord if you can. That's an approval. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So we will go for 8 p.m. So I will make the changes. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Okay. Should be done. Okay. So that settles the matter of the orientation call. Is there anything else on calendar that we need to think about or talk about that you guys think needs to be changed? For example, this call. Are you okay with this call timing? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So that settles the calendar. Costa and Irem, I guess more Costa. The next step will be to basically update our Gitbook with all the correct dates, and NT to update the to update the events on Discord with the timing of the new orientation call, which was the only change I think we made. But I think in some parts this call it still shows at 8 p.m. CET. So we can double check on our Gitbook and documentation, manifesto, everything, the slides. We have to make like a check in all this documentation that it has the right timing. So Costa, since you have access to the Gitbook, if you can open an issue for this, it will be helpful, or anyone else who wants to take on this. Right. Irem, would you like to say something?
I was gonna offer just staying a little longer, maybe Yumi and Costa, or did you have to go? I just wanted to maybe write and check with you together what we're writing for the community offering channel description and choosing the articles to pin, or maybe I can just share my suggestions there too. But yeah, a lot of these things we can do with Costa too. So I'm not saying I don't know anything else for the larger group.
No worries.
And maybe yeah.
Gideon, can you offer be my voice on this, and can you offer like a brainstorming session the rest of the timing of the call with Irem and Costa regarding these community offerings, since you also were part of this process?
Sorry, I missed the very beginning of that. Are you asking if I can stay a little bit longer to join in on the community offering part?
Yeah, because I have to hop off like in 3 minutes. So
Sure.
If you could just stay with them, and there you go. Thank you.
Sure.
Is there something else I can support with before I leave this call? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Irem, you can facilitate now the call, and yeah.
I do. One thing I just remembered, because I was on the phone. I was chatting with Manu, and I tried to log into the TE Gmail, and even though I put in my phone, it doesn't allow me to log in. It keeps saying the code has been sent to Gelak, the phone that Manu has, and he hasn't been receiving the passwords for some reason. But that's something I'll try to work out today. But just letting you know that I couldn't put my times in the calendar yet because don't have access again. We're trying to figure it out with him, but yeah, I don't know. He added my number there and my email, so I don't know what's the issue, but we'll be sorted hopefully. Or I'll reach out to you if anything you can do.
No worries. I will make sure. I will check the email later on today, and we'll get back at you to see how we can fix this.
Okay. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you, guys, and stay tuned in for what is the community offering. So, thank you for your time, and I will see you one of these days. Take care.
Thanks,
Edu.
everybody.
Okay, so since now we're creating our community offering channel, I was just thinking, like, if you guys have any ideas, we want to pin some useful introductory articles. They can be from TC Handbook or some of the other like Medium articles matter experts wrote beforehand. Something from Jeff Emmett on tokenized communities, etc., or explaining what TC is. If you have any ideas that you think should be into this channel, and there's basically just going to be a description saying, hey everyone, welcome to TC. This channel provides space for newcomers to share their community offering as the necessary step to become a member, and just like one line about what the community offering is. Which is basically they share in this public channel an interpretation of articles or other things we pin that they read about TC, some comment they make, something they create, but yeah, for context and to provide them with this initial content, if you have any ideas, like things we should definitely include, maybe you can just copy and paste under this point here, community offering channel description, and choosing articles to pin. And yeah, I don't know, anyone else, if you have any other comments, suggestions, what we can make out of that channel, yeah, please let me know.
I just have a question in relates with what you're saying, Aram, about the purpose right now for the community offering. You mentioned like this idea of the membership of the TC. So what's the progress on that? I'm asking because I don't want to I want to be clear on that, because we're also kind of working in something similar within Sample, right? So not just to overlap and yeah, be clear on the status of the project that you guys are having, and see how can we incorporate everything into one. So I don't know if you have any update in regards to that.
Yeah, I think that's actually just a small addition. I think what I have here is just the TC, what we have in the forum. I wrote the redefining being a member at TC, and the community offering is just an added layer to our cultural build, I think. And he wanted to be, I think, something super simple. It says here, and we can ask him a little for more detail, but like my understanding is really just newcomers doing a sort of reading or engaging with a content that was either produced in TC or was produced by and the subject matter expert. But like, unlike the content curation channel, it's like we provide them with like 3-4 things, and they just engage with it, think about it, and I don't know, say like produce something, say something, make a comment. You're right, there's some overlaps, and it was initially planned. I'm just reading the description in the forum. Edu wrote, so community offering, embracing the culture of gratitude, followed up by the praise system. Community offering is a simple action performed by a newcomer when they share in a designated public channel and interpretation of articles selected by the TC as a must know.
Yeah, sorry.
Can I add something? Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, please.
I think also the goal we had in mind with the community offering, it's tied up with the cleaning up of roles that we were doing, and we were planning to use this as a way to track newcomers into the Discord. So it's a way for us to engage with new people and have them read something of the TC and interact with us, and then we would know easily with which users are active, and we can take them off the new member tag and assign them whatever tag is needed, or see where are they being involved or not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry, I think I didn't explain myself well. I didn't mean like overlap on the community offering part of it, but more into the membership part of it. Um, so I'm trying like just to understand like the final product that you guys are envisioning, more specifically with that like forum post that Edu shared, if it's gonna take the form of like, at least for what I'm understanding and what you're explaining, Costa, this idea of membership right now, at least at this level, could turn into just defining the role of a newcomer, right? They will get like a role of newcomer or role of member of the TEC once they go through all the requirements that are like stated on the post. Is that kind of like correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
Okay.
And I think I send like the follow-up messages to the newcomers that attended previous week orientation call, and I think maybe it would be a good idea to just ping them on the community offering channel to check on them if they need any additional help, and here is some articles that you can read, etc., etc., and do that follow-up on the community offering channel, for example.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Now I'm understand better. Thank you, guys.
So, because Edu and I were jamming on this for a few months, I can provide a little bit of context that may be missing. I don't know, or maybe things have changed because it's been a few months since I've been active. Probably 2 months. But the original thinking was, that there would be newcomers, and then there would be these, basically these processes that we could look at and say, like, did this person do this or not, right? So it's like we were looking at had they activated on praise, have they done their initial community offering, have they signed the community covenant, and there was one more that I'm forgetting. Oh, and have they been to orientation, of course. So those were the things we were looking at. And then this community offering thing kind of started as something a little bit different from what it seems like it may be going into. So I'll give the original context was, this was just kind of a fun, nice way for people to do kind of like an introduction to the community that might be a little bit more revealing of who they are. That was the initial thinking. The initial thinking was like that we would have like a few questions that we might ask. It would be like, what's, how would you describe token engineering? Or, like if you had to describe token engineering to your grandfather or your grandmother or your, little brother, how would you do it? Or, those kinds of things, and make it kind of like a little bit more fun, and a way to kind of get to know the person. And then I think one of the options was also like, here's some articles, tell us what you think, like give us your interpretation of that. So it seems like that may have become like the one thing that this narrowed in on. So which I think is fine. But that was the original context for it.
I like that, Gideon. I think we can still definitely do that. I mean, we can create some prompts, and those we can also pin to this channel and say, here are some fun questions to get you started and to get you thinking about token engineering in the community. And we can have those. And for people who want to, we can also provide this list of articles and like ask them what they think. So, I can draft something more engaging like that and just provide as options. I was also not like I wasn't sure about the brainstorming process on this. I only read the like just 3 sentences under this forum post redefining being a member at the TC. So, but I really like that idea, and like we can definitely pivot because we didn't put or post anything there yet. So maybe we can think about those questions together, like with Costa or here too, and or any other things, like any other.
One other quick thing too was when we were originally thinking about this, we were thinking that wouldn't just like people could, if they wanted to contribute artwork or a video or even a poem, that we would allow that. Like the idea was to kind of like make this be something that was a little bit more, just kind of engaging and fun. So, but I don't know, like it could also fall flat you know, it can also totally fall flat. So I think the thing that we were talking about originally was that to make this successful, that we would actually go to the stewards and other active community members and ask that everybody like do their first, you know, to offer, to make some type of offering so we can seed the thing. So that's all the background.
I think that's a good then one thing we can try, we can announce this in the community call this week, and also like stewards can talk about this in their meetings, and maybe for now we can just have a drafted like options of what community offering could be, just like giving just to start the conversation, just like give people a direction, but we can keep it wide range, and we don't have to limit people to anything. You're right, like any type of reflection you do through creating some sort of art, asking a question, like reflective question, or sharing something you thought about, like something you see someone. So it could be anything. You're right. I like that more. But I also want to just like provide many options, because then people are not like, oh, I have to do like create an artifact. I have to create this. Like it has to be like super thoughtful. I mean, it's great if it's like thoughtful, but we also don't want it to be too overwhelming. So yeah, I think like creating options is definitely good for that, to give a direction and also keep it larger. So, and we can announce it this week, and maybe all of us can give it a shot and see like what type of content that appears.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that I totally agree with what you're saying, because if we make something that's completely unstructured and people don't understand what's being asked of them, that will just be confusing. So yeah, I was just providing some of like what the background was for it, but I think if it's just open-ended, we'll get blank stares from people. But I think if you like, I think what you're saying is absolutely right. If we give them like, you know, four to six options of like, you can do this, you can do that, or this, or this, that will really help. And I think, you know, it's just like giving people maybe a range of things that they can do.
Okay, so maybe today after this call, I can draft something and send you guys for feedback. And then we can also, I don't know if everyone has access to this channel right now. I'm not sure. Can you guys check if you see community offering on their calendars? Start here,
Nope,
orientation.
I can't.
You can't.
Nope.
Okay, so yeah, I think like I think Edu didn't make it public before we agree on the description of it and the instructions. So what we can do is that I draft it, I send it to you, Gideon, and anyone that wants to give feedback, we can I can talk about it in the community call this week and let people know, and maybe open it up to only like contributors and stewards for now within the next 5-7 days, and see like what people actually know. Do you think it's a good idea to just after we get the description and the prompts in, just make it public? How should we go about that, Gideon? What do you think?
I really don't know. I mean, I'd be interested to hear everybody's thoughts, but I think it will help if it's seeded with like some examples. So, but I think you could open it up, and then just, I think the key is just like trying to get, like, say maybe all of us to make I actually have something that I'm going to put in there. It's just like a drawing I did that I can put in as like an example of some artwork that people could do. But I think if maybe each one of us did like a slightly different take on it, like to kind of show the range, you know, like once you come up with the suggestions, you know, maybe you could give it to us, and then we could try to find stewards and contributors who can do a few examples of those. That might be. Will you be asking people for this? Will you be telling them about this in the orientation call? Is that what the idea is?
That too. In orientation call, when we talk about the cultural build, like talking about praise systems, we'll talk about as an addition to the cultural build, and also how part of transitioning into a member role from newcomer. So yeah, like I'll definitely explain it, but we also want people who came before the next orientation call to do this too, I guess. Yeah, I like your idea. So I think let's do that. Let's draft something and share it with you guys, and let's try to have at least 7-8 people interact with it in different ways for examples and for people to see, and also not shy away if they see it with zero content, So yeah, I think let's do that. That's a great idea.
Also, something that I think it could also help with the prior engagement with this, and I just like insist that could bring a lot of benefit. It's this part of reorganizing the channels of the server. I think that if we are able to maybe do that first or in parallel with everything that you guys are saying, that I completely agree. That sounds pretty great. But if we can do this restructuring of the channels, I think could allow us to make it easier for people to interact with it. And I'm thinking, like, because it feels like right now new and more initiatives are coming up that will require to have a channel in the server, like the community offering and the community signal forum that we have also, right? So maybe for them to be more relevant and for people, we can do that cleanup first, and then it will be easier for people to find them. I don't know what you guys think. I know Costa told me that you guys were working on that. I don't know if there's any update on that, or if you required any support to do that. I don't know.
I would. Oh, go ahead, Costa.
I was going to say that we were. What is wrong with my? Oh, no. I was going to say that we were going to get into that this week.
Okay,
I would actually ask to put that on hold, because I think there's a bigger project with with other space roles that we should get done first, and then we can restructure the Discord better. Because I'm thinking that's a bigger question to ask. Sort of like, how are we going to just manage everything in terms of role and stuff to then go ahead and move whatever we have to move in Discord. I think we can just work with the server as it is for now, and then once we are more far with the status of order space and stuff, we can chat about roles and reorganizing.
Okay.
So Rienti, maybe I'm missing something there. I don't quite like understand like the relation between the channels of the server and outer space. Could you clarify that?
Yeah. Well, so there's a few hidden channels for certain roles and stuff, and so I'm thinking before we do a major overhaul of the whole server, it's better to understand the roles we have. How are we going to manage them? Like, if we are going to use, I'm thinking we are probably going to use order space to provide badges to then manage the roles using guild. And based off that, we may end up with different Discord setups where different roles have different access to certain things. And yeah, just that I would rather just figure that out first and then redesign the server.
So, yeah, I'm not sure what the right thing to do is here, but I spent some time on Discord this weekend just looking at, especially in the community category. There's just stuff in there that's just really not clear what it is. Like, why is there a general? Why is there announcements? Why is there amplify? And the lounge and the community hall. Those are all, I think those should all just be one channel. Honestly, it's just too much, like, it's just too confusing, It's like, what the hell is the difference between these things? So, like, I think there may be some simple things that we could do, but like my main interest, and I think all of us, is, once this curation service goes live, we really just want to like eliminate the noise, just radically simplify as much as we can to focus people's attention into the areas where we really want to build engagement, and then just radically simplify, get rid of all of the noise that's not really doing anything today. So I think as long as we get this, whatever we're trying to do done by the time we want to draw attention to the curation service, I think it's probably fine. That to me seems like the driver.
I agree. Like all this praise, sorry, not praise, but general announcements, amplify ideas, and lounge. Yeah, we can definitely. It creates too much noise, and that makes me wonder. Like, what if we actually put the community offering in community, within community signal? I don't know, just as a new, like new forum in itself, or would it be confusing? I don't know. Now that I'm thinking, I mean, we can definitely, like, if people, for people that come to onboarding, like it would be easy to direct them here, and they would also this way engage with community signal, like this channel particularly, since they have to do the community offering to become a member. So it could be a good incentive to get them engaging here, but also if you can clear it up, getting how long these forms stay again here. They're not permanent, correct? So that would be an issue.
You know what? Yeah, what I found out is a little bit different from what I thought. But what I learned this weekend is that it looks like the 7-day limit only takes the post out of the menu on the left. And it doesn't even seem to do a great job of that, because some of those 3 that are in there right now are older than the limit that's in there. But if you click on the actual like community signal, there's some of the original posts that I put in there like 4 days ago. Those are still there. So I don't think it actually does go away, even though they made it seem like it would.
Okay, got it.
Maybe it's like the threads. It just becomes inactive. Puts the post aside.
Yeah, I mean, it's still there if you click on it. There's one from 4 days ago, and all of the discussions, are still there. But anyway, we can come back to this part later. I don't want to distract too much from this call, but your question, is like, should we just make the community offering like a particular, like a tag?
Yeah. Just an idea that came to my mind, but I don't know if it would make it harder to engage or make it less noisy, but that's a possible solution to decrease the number of different channels here, but also to again like draw engagement to our community signal, since it's like mandatory to. I mean, not mandatory, but it required like a process to become a member. Also, just one question, like, should we go through an advice process for this too, guys? Like, I'm not sure how this works. Like, if we want to remove 3-4 channels out of community, just do the advice process to suggest, okay, we want to remove some of these channels to really decrease the noise and pull attention to the channels that we want to amplify here. How would that work? Or would we just decide on a call like this and remove some channels?
I think we could have like a proposal of channels to be removed and to be added, and make a forum post and see if people comment on it and read about it and see if they agree or not.
Yeah, I would say just keep it simple, and yeah, I think that's probably my instinct was just do it, but I think that's probably a better way to do it, is do the. I really don't think there's going to be much objection, but you never know. So yeah, I think it's better to ask. And one other thing I just wanted to go back to with your idea about putting this into the forum, putting the community offering into the forum. One thing I'm a little bit leery of is that we do this and like nobody participates. It's very possible, right? Like some of the best ideas. Like, it's just people have limited bandwidth. So putting it into the forum might be a way of cushioning it so that it's less obvious if there's not as many people doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you'll still be able to click on the tag and get to all the community offerings, and we can still direct people to that, and you'll still be able to, like, for the process of assessing somebody's membership, like, you'll still be able to check whether they've done this, but it won't be like a channel that's there with, like, 7 posts in it if this doesn't take off. So that's one interesting idea. I think it's worth thinking about.
Yeah, I agree. Did I get it right? So you mean it's not, so like people would feel more comfortable to share in a channel a little more hidden, or like, is that what you mean? Like, or so you say it's a good thing. Can you repeat that? I'm not quite sure if I understand.
Yeah, sorry. I don't think I was being clear. What I'm saying is there's a chance we could launch this community offering thing and not many people do it, right? So rather than having a dedicated channel where it's obvious that there's not a lot of engagement, I think putting it in the forum would still allow people to add it, but make it less obvious if there weren't that many posts.
I see. I agree. You say that it's good to like test with it being here first rather than starting out with an entire new channel. I agree, actually. And for the forum feature, can you still? I mean, we can still write the description as a message, like one of the stewards, like me, or just me or Costa, and still pin it and have the questions and other instructions clear there. So that also wouldn't be a problem, I guess. Okay. Yeah, let's definitely think about this. I'll draft the description either way. Maybe I'll ping Edu and see what he thinks about that too. But I think we can definitely give it a shot here. Too. I don't know. I don't know who has the last say over this. Like, what do you guys think? NT Bear, Costa, do you have any ideas? And like after this call, like we can just ping Edu and ask him his thoughts too, since he initially made the channel.
Something that
I'll also think about it and draft something, and we can put that in common.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. Maybe just like creating a Google Doc and sharing it with everyone, so we can like add comments and share feedback. Something similar to what we're doing in other projects. I think that could work.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, if anything else from anyone. And thank you for joining this one call. So it's a little messy and so much house cleaning to do, but Kosa and I will be up to speed hopefully next week.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, thanks so much, and yeah, I'll share with you the Google Doc today.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Doing a great job.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.